Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to your Chelsea news. Donnarumma to Chelsea could be back on. Newcastle want Nicolas Jackson. We have some player updates regarding Raheem Sterling, Jorrel Hato and Xavi Simons. And not only that, but a deal has been agreed for João Félix to go to Al-Nassr. Now, of course, I'll be giving my own thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10k before the end of 2025. Kicking things off, Football Insider have reported that Chelsea is set to subsidise Raheem Sterling's wages in order to complete the winger's move to Fulham. Now, this is just a little bit of an update based on what we said yesterday and the day before. The writing is on the wall that Raheem Sterling is going to Fulham, which is just a wild thing when you think about it, right? Now, some of you in the comments were saying it doesn't really matter if he goes to our rivals, he's not really going to make an impact, and I hear you completely. It's very interesting that Chelsea are going to subsidise his wages. I feel like that's one of the only ways that we can offload Raheem Sterling this summer, purely because of the wages that we are currently paying him. He has 2 years left on his contract, over 300 grand a week. It's a wild amount of money when you think about it. Chelsea are doing everything they can to get him off the books. They're just like, we need him gone. He is weighing down our wage budget. We've done so well across the board, reducing everyone else's wages, having this incentivized wage structure and where people get pay rises based on incentives. And Raheem Sterling is just right at the top of that. He's like a Lukaku 2.0 in terms of the wages, all right? You could even consider him as terms of a transfer. He hasn't done as well. I'd say he's done better than Lukaku. Lukaku was there for like a season, right? But I'm talking mainly in terms of wages. The 300k a week is like Lukaku 2.0. So Chelsea looking to offload him. Fulham have come in, they're interested. We're looking to subsidise his wages. This looks like it is going ahead. It'll be very interesting to see what the fee is. It's been reported that Chelsea want at least £20 million for Raheem Sterling, which in all honesty, I feel like when you subsidise his wages and you take the £20 million, you basically break even. So you're not making a loss. They're just saying, look, cool, we're breaking even. He can go, sweet. And honestly, we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the video as well, but Chelsea's board of directors, Chelsea's owners, when it comes to selling, we are elite at selling players that we no longer want. So just because they don't work at Chelsea or we were looking to offload them, we still managed to get top dollar for these players, which is absolutely wild when you think about it. Not only do we spend incredibly well, but we also sell incredibly well, which is so nice to see. I'm not an accountant style fan, right? Yes, I talk about money here and there, transfers in, transfer out, wages, because I like to react to it and get your guys' opinion down below and also give my own thoughts, right? But I'm not sitting there counting things on a spreadsheet and going, oh, profit and loss, profit and loss. But we still talk about it when it pops up, right? But it looks like Chelsea just sell well and buy well, and it gives us such relief as fans, and it's exciting because we know that our club's being run well, at least financially. And after the first few years of this ownership being so rocky, injections of money and billions being spent and not really seeing anything materialise on the pitch, and now we are, it's almost like, okay, cool, we can actually see this vision. Look, the plan's coming together. We are on board with it. Let's go forward and see where it can take us. So it looks like Raheem Sterling is going to Fulham, hopefully for around £20-25 million, and Chelsea are going to subsidise his wages. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you think this is a good move for Chelsea to break even and just get him off the books? Or would you like to see Chelsea try and get even a little bit of profit for him? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. The Mail Sport have reported that Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson has been added to the list of Newcastle's attacking targets, with Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins also in their thoughts. A deal of Brentford's Wissa is not dead yet, and an inquiry has been made for Benjamin Sesko of RB Leipzig. Fabrizio Romano has reported, keep an eye on Nicolas Jackson. There are several clubs trying to understand his situation with people close to the player. Nothing advanced, but remains a concrete possibility to leave. And Bobby Vincent has reported that Chelsea are planning on Nicolas Jackson being with the rest of the squad for the upcoming season. Now, I find this very interesting. We spoke about Nicolas Jackson a lot in recent weeks, but in the last 24-48 hours, it's been very obvious that Isak wants to push a move away from Newcastle. He only wants to go to Liverpool. He's rejected all the Saudi moves, etc. He wants to go to Liverpool. And Newcastle are doing their due diligence and trying to prepare for his exit. Now, it's incredibly difficult to prepare an exit of someone like Isak's quality, because they're going to make silly money. They're going to make silly money on Isak. It's going to be like 120 million plus, 150 million, whatever it is. It's going to be ludicrous. It's going to be a new record if he leaves. But Newcastle don't want to be left in the dark, because they're going to have to utilise some of that money to replace him. Now, will he be of the same standard? More than likely not. Isak is a world-class striker. Guy scores goals for fun, right? However, I really like what Newcastle are doing. They're going to go after Benjamin Sesko. They've added Nicolas Jackson to that list. They're also trying to go down the route with Wissa as well. So it's very, very interesting in that sense. Now, like we've mentioned before with Nicolas Jackson, it seems like the writing's on the wall from a lot of outlets that he's going to be gone this summer. He's third choice striker currently based on run of form and his recent escapades, I suppose. I don't know if that's the right word, but his recent behaviour on the pitch and discipline, etc. And now we've got João Pedro and Liam Delap coming in have been instant impacts. Now, Newcastle adding Jackson to the list, us Chelsea fans, some of us Chelsea fans are going, we could be ended up with half of that Isak money. If Isak goes for 150 mil and they come in for Nicolas Jackson and they pay the 70 mil for him, we are laughing. Newcastle get a replacement 9, who we know what he's like in the Premier League. They must know what he's like in the Premier League, but he is still a young international player who has Premier League experience, right? We know he can go on and develop to be a really good player. But if we get 70 million for him, we will take that in a heartbeat. That's more than double than what we paid for him a few seasons ago. We would be laughing. So there's a corner of Chelsea fans really pushing for Isak to go to Liverpool, because now Newcastle will link with Nicolas Jackson. We could end up with half of that money, which would be unbelievable business again from the Chelsea owners. When you think about this window, we've made, 25 million off of Petrovic, 52.5 off of Noni Madueke. We're going to speak about João Félix later in the video. We are the Club World Cup money. A lot of the other players we've offloaded so far. We have made so much money in this window, and we've still got so many more players to try and offload. It is looking unbelievably good. And if you add Nicolas Jackson to that, and it's an extra 70 million, we are laughing. We are laughing. Now, what I find funny is the conflicting reports here, because Bobby Vincent's saying that Chelsea are planning on Nicolas Jackson being with the squad for next season. And I feel like they're not trying to show all their cards. They have said, look, we actually like Jackson, we want to keep him, he's a great player. We've set our price as 100 million, that's what we see him as, but we'd quite happily take 60, 70 million for him if a bid was to come in. And they've taken this attitude for a lot of players, Noni Madueke, Petrovic, a lot of others throughout the squad who aren't untouchable. Now they're willing to listen to offers. Chalobah at times as well, which I've said before, it makes a lot of sense. It's respectful. You're at least going to listen to something that, you're not going to listen to lowball offers. But if someone comes in with some serious money, you're going to be like, right, well, let's have a little think about this. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. But Chelsea planning to have him in the squad next season is a good thing, because like I said in yesterday's video, if we keep Jackson, cool. It's his season to really kick on, push forward, try and fight his way back into as the number 1, number 9, and improve as a player. Happy to see him do that. Happy to see him dig his heels in and fight for his place. That's what we want to see from our players wearing our Chelsea shirt. We want them to be fighting for that shirt, right? However, if we sell him for 70 million, we're rubbing our hands together. Good luck. Do you know what I mean? See you soon. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time at Chelsea. Hopefully you do go develop and be an incredible player, because Chelsea are also the type of club that go buying back for 100 million 5 years later. But regardless of that, either way, for Chelsea, we're laughing. We've got a good player that's going to develop this season, hopefully. And we're also in a position where if we sell him for big money, we make lots of profit off him. Cool, we're laughing. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Newcastle interested. Fabrizio said there's lots of clubs interested in Jackson. The Italian clubs can't really afford it, so that's kind of written them off. Newcastle, Villa, United, they're the other clubs that are basically saying the price is too high, but we are interested. For Newcastle, going after the likes of or inquiring about Ollie Watkins and Nicolas Jackson and Benjamin Sesko, they are covering their bases because they're about to lose Isak, which is going to be absolutely detrimental to them and their progress next season. You can't just lose a player like Isak and replace him. We've had the same thing with Eden Hazard. You lose Eden Hazard for massive money. You can't just replace him in a window. But what you can do is make sure you get the most amount of money for him to try and replace someone of even half their quality. If you get more than that, amazing. But he's that type of player where you're not just going to replace him like that, because the market's not like that right now. That's why Nicolas Jackson is currently rated at £70 million, because there's a shortage of number 9s. So, very interesting to see how this plans out. Do you think Nicolas Jackson stays? Or do you see a world where Newcastle sell Isak for 150 million and they come to Chelsea and buy Jackson for 70 million pounds? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Sky Carver have reported it's understood that Chelsea are ready to pay 44 million pounds for Jorrel Hato, but Ajax are holding out for around 52 million. Now, this seems to be one of these sort of moves that are dragging out a long time. And that's purely because we've seen a lot of these deals happen this window over a 24, 48-hour period for a lot of clubs, Chelsea included. Again, we're going to speak about João Félix in a minute, because that was like, boom, instant overnight, which was amazing to see. It shows how fast the market can move. But then on the other hand, looking at the likes of Xavi Simons and Jorrel Hato, you can see how slow or how normal it is really for these negotiations to go out a little bit longer. Now, when it comes to Hato, I think he's a perfect sign. We spoke about him in depth loads here on this channel. So I only want to touch on this a little bit because we are still kind of hanging in the wind. We're on the edge of our seats waiting for the announcement to see what Ajax are willing to agree to. Now, if they're looking for 52 million, Chelsea are currently willing to pay 44 million. We could see a world where it's 45 million plus 5 million add-ons or something, and Ajax accept anywhere around that 50 million. We don't know. 52 million is a lot of money, because we're slowly creeping up to that initial amount that Ajax originally wanted, which was £60 million for Hato, when Chelsea wanted to pay 40. Now, we're sitting at around 44. If we do go for, say, 50, 52, it's halfway between that 40 and 60 mil, right? So I think it's still a very, very good investment, purely because of how good Hato is, how much potential he has, and what he can bring to our squad. He fills a massive, massive hole, playing left centre-back and as a left-back cover for Cucurella. He's young, he's an international player. We know how good he is. He's tall, good in the air, good with the ball at his feet. You know, he could do everything. This is just a matter of time now where Chelsea and Ajax have just got to finalise a transfer fee. So it's one of those things where, like, I will continue to update you every piece of news that I get and we react to. And I'd still want to get your thoughts, because I don't know if people's thoughts are changing on Jorrel Hato to Chelsea as time goes on. Do you still think this is going to happen? I personally feel it will. I feel like every summer window we get a player, whether it is a Xavi Simons, whether it is a Jorrel Hato, where the negotiations and things kind of drag out across most of the summer, and then something happens when the window's about to shut. Chelsea seem to be victim of this every single summer. You know, we had the Osman thing last summer, where it went on for so long and then it never happened. I remember when I was younger, when Robinho was linked to Chelsea, ended up going to Man City. I remember staying up with my friend on transfer deadline day all the way until it shut, because there was no official news of where he went, just to find out he went to City. It broke me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But we're going way, way back, showing my age a little bit there. But Chelsea seem to always have this sort of player or negotiations that go on for so long. I'm hoping that we can get these deals tied up but at the end of the weekend, early next week, so it's just done and dusted. Because one thing we have to remember is we're slowly creeping up on these pre-season games, which means we're slowly creeping up on the Premier League season. And if we are going to be if we are going to be getting Xavi Simons and Jorrel Hato, they need to be integrated into the squad, because I'm sure that Maresca wants to use them as soon as possible for the upcoming season. So I feel like it's just a matter of time now. I predicted Friday. I was horribly wrong. Secret Source predicted the weekend. We're still technically in the weekend, so we can see, you know, there's some limited time left. These could be announced today. You know, knowing my luck, it will probably be announced as soon as I upload this video. We'll soon see. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you feel like the longer this goes on, the less likely Chelsea are to sign these players? Or do you feel like it's just a matter of time and this is just perfectly normal for negotiations to be spread out for a longer period of time? But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Bobby Vincent has also reported there is a confidence from all sides that Xavi Simons will become a Chelsea player this summer. Ben Jacobs has just reported that Chelsea are expected to place a first formal offer soon for Xavi Simons after verbal discussions over numbers. Talks described as positive. Now, yesterday we had an update. We spoke about Xavi Simons a little bit, well, in depth really, about how we were advancing on everything, advancing on the personal terms, advancing on club-to-club talks, and it was also revealed that we're talking Chelsea owners here are talking directly to the owners of Leipzig, the higher-ups. This isn't going to be a bidding war. This is owner-to-owner speaking directly, which is very, very important for the likes of us. You know, Xavi Simons has turned away Bayern Munich, not interested in Arsenal. Chelsea, the clear favourites to get this signing over the line, and again, it's a matter of time. I feel like Leipzig and Chelsea are talking at the highest level, because they're not just talking about Xavi Simons to Chelsea, they're also talking about Carney to go to them as well, or potentially other players that they can look to sign if Carney doesn't want the move. And the last that we heard from Carney is Carney didn't want the move to Leipzig. He much prefers the move to Borussia Dortmund, and that could be one of the main hurdles. Also, it's that initial fee. Chelsea are expected to place their first formal offer soon. Be very interesting to see what that first formal offer is going to be. But if the owners are talking owners to owners, I feel like that first bid will be the bid that's accepted, because the owners will probably discuss, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want for him. And our owners are going, right, well, this is what we're paying. And they're probably negotiating that side rather than just chucking bids left, right and counter offers left and right, like we are doing with Ajax, right? So I feel like that is probably the route that's going to happen. This is also what happened with Christopher Nkunku when we signed him. It was out of nowhere, it was secret talks, and then all of a sudden, boom, Chelsea signing Christopher Nkunku, and we were like, wow, that's come out of nowhere. The fee, you know, the bid went through straight away. It was all agreed, bang, 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 done. Chelsea player. He was then to come later on in the season, because I think we bought him mid-season or the season before or something like that. It was all worked out very quickly and it was under the radar. So I feel like Chelsea are doing the same thing with the Xavi Simons deal, except it's not under the radar. It's very, very public, and we are waiting for that final fee to be revealed and everything to be accepted. As far as I'm concerned, Xavi Simons and the personal terms are pretty much done. We've seen so many terms, so many reports we've reacted to of Xavi Simons basically going, yep, I want the Chelsea project, just get me over there, put me in a Chelsea shirt. So I don't see that being an issue. I just feel like formally they haven't prepared it all and sent it across, and they're looking to do so now. So will they do it today? Hopefully. Because the quicker this can be done, the quicker we can get excited, because there's only so much you can get excited about something that is being dragged out for a long period of time. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you feel like Chelsea having secret talks with the owners to owners works in our favour, and this is why it's taking so long, because when we put in that formal bid, it's going to be accepted straight away? Or do you feel like another club can still come in and hijack the Xavi Simons deal? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. L'Équipe have reported that PSG don't want to lose Donnarumma on a free transfer when his current deal expires next year, so they want to cash in this summer. Chelsea and Galatasaray have been linked with a move. Now, I've seen a lot of reports around Donnarumma in the last few days saying that talks with PSG have just stalled. He's not interested. They're offering him renewals. He's like, nah, I don't want to do it. And he's holding out. He's playing hardball. Whether, again, this is something like the Kenan Yildiz or Yildiz, however you pronounce it, I apologise. You guys always let me know in the comments and I appreciate it. Whether it's a series like that where Chelsea are interested, but there's no chance of it really happening, and Kiernan's agents are using this to kind of bump up his renewal price so we can get more wages. This could be another move like that, where Donnarumma's using the media, or his team are using the media, to say, look, we're linked with Galatasaray, linked with Chelsea, we're willing to move, go on a free next year, you're going to lose out on this money on us that you can cash in on now, unless we get X, Y, and Z. We don't really know because we're not behind the scenes. What I do find very interesting is we were linked with Donnarumma for a month ago or 3 weeks ago. I was getting very excited. Donnarumma's one of the best in the world. Now, I know that you look at the Club World Cup final, we put 3 past him, etc. Yeah, cool. We absolutely demolished PSG. But I'd much rather have a Donnarumma in goal than Robert Sanchez. Unless Robert Sanchez is going to play like he did against PSG consistently. Which, let's be honest, I don't feel he'll be able to keep up that level of performance consistently. And happy to be proven wrong. Very happy to be proven wrong in that sense. But Donnarumma is, whether you like it or not, he's one of the best keepers in the world currently. So good. He has a year left on his contract. He can go for free next year. Chelsea could just wait this out. Donnarumma could dig his heels in, not sign an extension, and then the likes of Chelsea, Galatasaray, surely there's other clubs, United, Bayern Munich, all the top European clubs will be monitoring Donnarumma right now, especially if talks have halted with PSG. So I can see Donnarumma moving from PSG this summer. I think that is definitely on the cards. The fact that we're being linked with him is amazing. We're linked with everyone, but Chelsea have also come out and said that they're going to deny, that they're going to flat out let people know if we're not linked with that player. They've not done this with Donnarumma. They've not done this at all. So there is sort of rumours on the rumour mill that Chelsea is still looking at potentially going in for a goalkeeper this summer. I feel like it would be a very good move to go get a goalkeeper. A lot of you guys in my comment sections have been saying, we need to focus on the defenders. We need a new goalkeeper. Not necessarily just to get rid of Sanchez, even though some people are on in that side of the fence, and that's fair. I totally get it. But a lot of people are like, we've got 2 goalkeepers going into next season. And if we can upgrade, I mean, if we got Donnarumma, we get Hato, we get Simons, plus all the other additions we've got in our squad, that makes us a force to be reckoned with next season. And we still are, but it just takes us to a whole new level, adding someone like Donnarumma in there. Unbelievable. And Simons and Hato. Unbelievable. No doubt Chelsea will probably still go in for another centre-back as well on top of Hato, which would make us even better. So it would be the perfect window if we go get someone like Donnarumma. My only concern is we missed out on Mike Maignan over a few £1 million. And seeing how the window started to compared to how it is now, I don't really understand why we didn't just pay the extra few million. Well, and I know that there's a whole argument of, AC Milan were trying to fleece us, blah, blah, blah. No, I get that. But if Chelsea are looking for a goalkeeper, we know that Mike was available, and there's a few £1 million, which in the long scheme of things wasn't really a lot. Because if you do go for someone like Donnarumma, who again is going on a free transfer next season, he's going to want a fat sign-on bonus and big wages. And the wages will be the issue with Donnarumma. But if you're signing someone with 12 months left on the contract, you can get it for a reduced fee. Maybe he's willing to reduce his wages. I personally can't see it. Maybe it doesn't happen purely because of that. But I would love to see Donnarumma come to Chelsea. I think it'd be a massive, massive injection of positivity in terms of the back line and players between the sticks, right? We'll then have Donnarumma, Sanchez, and Jorgensen. Over the moon with them 3. Do you know what I mean? That would be incredible. But again, I don't know whether I see this happen. I'd love to see it happen. But I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you feel like this is just a tactic to get Donnarumma a higher extension? Do you feel like there is some concrete evidence behind this to suggest that Chelsea could go in and get Donnarumma? Do you see this move happening? Do you feel like wages will be the stumbling block? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Fabrizio Romano late last night reported breaking news that Al-Nassr are in advanced talks to sign João Félix and hijack Benfica's move. Al-Nassr has sent a permanent deal proposal to Chelsea and a contract proposal to João. The agreement is close as final details are set to be discussed in the next 24 to 48 hours. A little while later, he continues to report that João Félix is keen on the Al-Nassr move and has opened the doors. He's excited to play with Cristiano Ronaldo, green light given. And then what felt like a few seconds later, Fabrizio Romano then reported an exclusive that Al-Nassr agree a deal to sign João Félix from Chelsea. Here we go. Player authorised to fly for a medical and join Al-Nassr. Initial transfer fee is worth 30 million euros plus add-ons and a heavy sell-on clause to meet Chelsea's 50 million euro valuation in the future, paperwork being prepared. Then Ben Jacobs reported that João Félix has been given permission to undergo his medical at Al-Nassr. The total package with add-ons is worth around £48 million and they also retain a sell-on clause. This is huge. Like I said earlier in the video, Chelsea are elite at selling players. Now you could say, oh, Saudi will come and save this. Fair. That is a valid statement to say, and some people will view it as that, and hey, I even look at it as that way as well. Because like I've said for over the last week on my videos daily, João Félix to Benfica is getting closer. Benfica don't quite have the money. Chelsea are willing to negotiate, maybe only sell half of his image rights and then a lower transfer fee and recoup the money over time. They were trying to be very smart. João Félix wanted Benfica, emotional connection, but Saudi comes swooping in with stupid money, and they go, hey, we'll buy him. Well, yeah, what, 50 million euros? Yeah, all right, cool. Let's work something out. And they have, like that. They've come in, they've hijacked the deal. João Félix is no longer a Chelsea player. He will be playing in Saudi with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. And potentially, Chelsea will be earning around £48 million for him. Now, obviously, that takes over the 50 million euros. Again, pounds, euros. I'll try and keep it simple. Chelsea are looking to score nearly £50 million for João Félix in this deal. That is unbelievable business considering how his Chelsea move has gone. He played with us for about 6 months. We shipped him off on loan. He played for AC Milan, had basically a couple of good games, nothing that kind of wanted them to keep him after the loan deal. He then comes back to Chelsea, or is in this sort of the Cobham squad that are looking to be sold, and we were trying to offload him. Now, this is one of the players I thought would be quite difficult to offload because of, again, he's just bouncing around Europe to all these different clubs for certain fees. And again, his agent, Mendes, is a super agent, and he loves picking up, lining his pockets. I can only imagine what he is getting paid for this Saudi deal. He is obviously laughing. But the big kicker here that Chelsea have got in our hands is we retain a heavy sell-on fee. João Félix is 25 years old. He feels older than that because he's been around for such a long time, like a young protege, right? 25 years old. He's a fully grown man, right? Should be going into the prime of his career. He's going to Saudi Arabia. Fair play to him, man. Get your bag, because I can imagine what he's getting paid is going to be mental. And obviously, Chelsea are going to take that transfer fee all day long because we were looking for 43.3 million. Benfica were coming in with 20 million. So we were like, oh, all right, we'll work something out. Now we've got more than that, 48 million. We technically make profit, £5 million profit on João Félix, who played for us for 6 months. It is so wild how good these deals are in terms of Chelsea offloading players they no longer want. Now, personally, I'm a little bit disappointed because, like I've said in many videos, I really like João Félix. Yes, his output needs to be better. But in terms of just watching him play, he's an exciting player to watch. He likes breezing past players. I don't know, just a skillful guy who's got a bit of flair about him. On like a fan's emotional sense, I wish it worked out for him. On the other hand, nearly 50 million. Thank you for your service, my man. See you later. Have a good time in Saudi. Have a good holiday. He's retiring early, essentially. That's what some people are saying online. Now, the Saudi League is actually getting very good, and the teams, proved it in the Club World Cup. You had another Saudi team knocking out Man City in that Club World Cup. They're really collecting players like Infinity Stones to really raise the level of that league. And fair play. I'm going to respect the hustle, right? I'm not going to knock the hustle. We will take it, though. João Félix for £50 million is wild. I want to know, nothing's come out yet about his contract, what he's earning, etc. as a time of recording. I'd be very interested to know what sort of weekly wages is on, what Mendes is getting paid out of this, and the split. I think it's like a 30 million up front, and then the rest is on add-ons and the sell-on fee. But Chelsea having a huge sell-on fee is amazing because, again, he's 25 years old. He could go do 3 years out there and then get another move. And then once he has that move, Chelsea get a massive chunk of that because we've got the heavy sell-on. So oh mate, this just works out to be an incredibly good deal for Chelsea, and it's come out of nowhere. And like I said earlier in the video, this transfer market can move so quickly, and it can move at a normal pace. What we're seeing with Xavi Simons and Jorrel Hato, it's being dragged out. These are normal negotiations that happen normally, but we're also seeing deals like João Félix, where he's been talking to Benfica for a little while. Boom, Al-Nassr come in and go, yeah, we'll give you the money. We don't want to mess about. Let's make him an Al-Nassr player. What are your terms? Done. And then we're all just like, wow. Late last night, early hours of the morning, done. Out of nowhere. Completely out of nowhere. So I want to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding João Félix in general. Do you feel like he is ending his career early by going to Saudi Arabia at the age of 25? Do you think he's just going to secure generational wealth? Because I honestly do. Do you think he's going to do well over there? Do you think no one's going to care about anymore? And what are your thoughts on the Chelsea deal in terms of £48 million for João Félix with add-ons included, right? And also the heavy sell-on fee. Do you think that Chelsea have done incredible business here, or we've just been saved by Saudi? I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below. And that's all the latest Chelsea news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one, and I mean that, you're a real one. But secondly, there'll be a thumbnail appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure to click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.